Guys, I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I wanted to come in and give you a daily stock market update. If you haven't subscribed to theblackstockmarketprogram.com, that's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. You should, if you want to join my class. And also, we have the blackfinancialchannel.com if you want to get daily financial news and commentary from a Black perspective. So anyway, say hello. Let me know what city that you're from, and we'll definitely get the conversation started. The discussion today surrounds Tesla and also what's going on in the market. First thing I'll say is this: if you're curious about what's going on with the coronavirus, the World Health Organization says cases surged over 24 hours, but the U.S. is now accepting flights from Wuhan. That's the headline I'm seeing right now on CNBC. Stocks rose on Wednesday, which is today, Wednesday, February 5th. They rose on Wednesday, building on the week's already strong gains as investors recover from the recent drop sparked by coronavirus fears. The Dow traded 355 points higher, which is 1.2% increase. The S&P gained 0.9%. Now, this is an interesting jump in market prices because it's sort of been a continuous trend for the last several days. You've seen a lot of growth in the market. A lot of you have made money. If you've made money, say yes or no in the chat if you've made money in your portfolio. Also, let me know if you're an investor or not. How many of you are investors? I'd like to know how many of you are actually investing in the stock market. Now, Tesla took a hit. It's fascinating because Tesla actually went in the opposite direction of the rest of the market. And so if you look up Tesla stock dropped $136 today, down to $750, which is a massive drop. I mean, 15%. That's huge for one day. And now this was after Tesla had taken a major jump. They'd actually gone up. They've actually been as high as $961, by the way. So if you've been a Tesla investor, I guess over the last few days, you're probably a little bit disappointed because it hit 961 on Tuesday, which was yesterday, I guess, and it's dropped down to 750 today. If you look at Tesla stock over the last year, though, it's been massively increased in price. So let me see here. Over the last year, if you bought Tesla, say about a year ago, or actually at the start of this year, scratch that, the start of the year, January 1st, you could have bought it for $430. So even at $750, it's still a hell of a deal. I mean, does anybody in here own Tesla? Has anybody bought Tesla stock? Let me know if you own shares of Tesla, because I want to just congratulate you because you are officially a very lucky bastard. Has anybody owned Tesla stock for years? If you own Tesla for years, let me know because I think that makes you an incredibly lucky bastard. If you bought, let's see, you could have bought Tesla stock for about $200 a few years ago, and now it's trading at $750. Now here's the problem with Tesla though. According to a lot of analysts, Tesla is grossly overvalued. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out if Tesla is being valued as a tech company, or relative to other automobile manufacturers. I think they're a mix between the two. But I'm curious to see exactly how the market sort of makes that discernment. Now, here's what Barclays analyst Brian Johnson said. Brian Johnson says that Tesla is going to drop 65% at some point. He said in a note, the recent price action brings to mind NASDAQ 1999. Now, if you remember, 1999 was when the NASDAQ was way overvalued. And then you had the dot-com bust. Does anybody remember that? Give me a yes or no if you remember the dot-com bust when people were ready to, jump off buildings and strangle their cats because they lost so much money. Well, he's saying that the valuation of Tesla is similar to that. He says that Tesla is fundamentally overvalued. That means that if you look at the fundamentals of the company and you try to discern, like, what is this company really worth? Tesla ain't worth what the market's saying that it's worth. Like, Tesla is just not, in the eyes of most analysts, a good investment. I wouldn't invest in it either. I did invest in Tesla. I made money off Tesla, but I sold my Tesla because I don't trust Tesla long term. That's just my 2 cents. It's different from an Apple or an Amazon. In terms of the fact that Tesla just seems to be fundamentally risky because Elon Musk is a fundamentally risky guy. But I like Elon Musk for that reason too. I like the fact that he's a risk taker. I like the fact that he's a visionary. I think he's an extraordinary guy. I just don't know if I'd invest in him the same way I'd invest in a more stable company. And analysts at Canaccord Genuity and New Street Research downgraded the stock, denting sentiment around it along the news of a planned Model 3 delivery delays in China due to the coronavirus outbreak. Now, I wouldn't move a stock price because of the coronavirus. Like I think that's, if it's all based on the coronavirus, I don't have a lot of faith in that, because I think that's going to be, I think there's a good chance that that's going to be kind of a short-term thing. Earlier on Wednesday, Reuters said a Chinese TV media outlet had reported that a research team at Zhejiang University had found an effective drug to treat people with the new coronavirus. They suggested that this was a reason for the move higher in stocks. However, the World Health Organization said in a statement, quote, there are known effective therapeutics against 2019 nCoV, which is basically the coronavirus. Confirmed coronavirus cases in China are nearing 25,000, claiming the lives of 490 people. It's very sad. President Donald Trump said during Thursday's State of the Union address that the U.S. is working closely with the Chinese government to contain the virus. Quote, we think that a number of new reported cases will be a critical signpost, said Neil McLeod at UBS. He added the equity markets bottomed from the SARS scare in 2003 after the number of cases began to slow. Stocks also rose after ADP and Moody's Analytics said U.S. private payrolls rose by 291,000. That's the biggest monthly payrolls gain in nearly 5 years. Now, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you watched Donald Trump's State of the Union address the other day? Did anybody else watch that? Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you're on Twitter, please retweet this conversation. My Twitter is Dr. Boyce Watkins 1, Dr. Boyce Watkins 1. Our financial channel is theblackfinancialchannel.com. So if you could, please hit the thumbs up button right now. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, notification bell, all that stuff. How many of you watched at least some of the president's State of the Union address? I watched a little bit of it. I kind of felt that it was kind of ridiculous. It was, I don't know. Did you think it was kind of ghetto just to see Trump and Nancy Pelosi kind of going at each other like it was the Jerry Springer show? I didn't like that. I thought that was just kind of tacky. You know, he didn't want to shake her hand. She rips his papers up. I honestly will tell you that I think that's not good for the country. I think that our leaders, whoever the leaders are, I think that we're better off when they're all trying to work together to get something done. They don't get things done. They just want to fight each other and then make sure that when the whole country blows up and falls apart, that you're blaming the other party and not their party. Well, I blame all of them. I think they're all a bunch of pathetic, crazy people. And so anyway, so Trump was speaking on the economy. And one of the things that they can't take away from him is the fact that the economy has, for whatever reason, done extremely well since he's become president. Now, is that because he's a genius economically? I don't know. I mean, it depends on how you want to assess that, right? If Obama had been in office for 3 years and the economy was doing really well, most people would say, of course he deserves credit for that. Why would you take credit away from him? Like, I always flip things around. I always say, well, if they did it to us, how would we feel, right? So, or for example, when Rush Limbaugh got that medal, they gave Rush Limbaugh the Medal of Freedom, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, because he's dying of cancer. And everybody's like, oh, screw him. I'm glad he's dying of cancer, et cetera. And I don't do that. I don't wish death and cancer on anybody. I've had people in my family die of cancer, and it was not pleasant. I also feel that it would be a problem if Michelle Obama was dying of cancer, and you had to look at people on Twitter saying, "I'm glad she's dead." Like, I just think we'd be offended by that. So I just think having class, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of class and just saying, I'm sorry this guy's dying of cancer. I don't like his political views, but God bless him, right? Leave it at that, right? Leave it alone, right? So anyway, so right now, Trump and his team are kind of bragging because the economy is doing well, the market's doing well. The trade war has kind of taken a back seat since, I guess with the coronavirus and the impeachment stuff kind of happening. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if extended coverage and conversation about the coronavirus is done to distract from the impeachment thing. I don't think the impeachment process benefits any politicians in Washington right now. I think all of them look bad for wasting so much time on this, knowing that they couldn't get him impeached because they didn't have the votes. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're all kind of talking of this virus as a way to kind of get us to like, look over there, right? Now, in terms of what's going to happen with the market, my thoughts, I think as the virus kind of goes away, I think you can still see the market kind of take off. I think what's driving market performance now is pretty much that everybody's feeling good, happy, and financially safe. And when people feel good, happy, and financially safe, what happens is that the price of risk changes. The price of risk basically goes down, meaning that people are willing to pay more for a certain stock than they would be willing to pay otherwise. Now, once something happens that's bad, like once you start getting a couple of drips of bad news information, I believe there's going to be a little bit of a bust, because that's going to be kind of the bubble that people are waiting to burst. People have been waiting for the bad news to the other shoe to drop for years. Like they've been sitting around saying, okay, when's the recession coming? When's the recession coming? It's coming, but nobody knows exactly when. So I believe that as soon as there's evidence, it's almost like you're waiting for it to rain. And as soon as, and everybody's waiting, and then somebody feels a drop of rain, then everybody runs and grabs their umbrella, right? So I think that as soon as you see a drop of rain, economic rain, as soon as there's any sign that the recession's coming, I think you're going to see a big correction in the market, and you're going to see a shift in sentiment. You're going to see a massive sell-off, et cetera. But that does not mean you run away from the stock market. I think, at least my plan is I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. The number one rule in investing is to be consistent. And I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to walk away from the market just because it rained for a little while. So anyway, I got to get out of here, guys. Eris Roxy says, I watched Explain Pandemics yesterday. Really good. Yeah, Explain. That's a documentary on Netflix. That is really good. Also, another documentary that just came out that you guys will be interested in is called Uppity. It's about Willie T. Ribbs, who's the first black race car driver, not the first, one of the first. And they just gave him hell. And now they've immortalized this great man in a documentary. He's coming on my YouTube channel today also to talk about his experience. So if you want to be a part of the interview and the live conversation, you can go to drboycetv.com at 3 p.m. Eastern today. That's drboycetv.com. Also, if you want to learn how to invest in the stock market, feel free to visit theblackstockmarketprogram.com, THE. That's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. That's my program. Use the code word podcast. So you can get 30% off. So I'm out of here, guys. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. His name is Willie T. Ribbs. That's his name. So I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Have a good day. Be good. Peace.